Okay, hello everyone. Today we're gonna solve this problem, problem number 5 of chapter 5, and it has three parts. Part 8, um, part 8 is about introducing this command D, that stands for delete. Uh, what it's going what it's going to do is we're gonna ask the user to enter a name, and we're going to delete that name from the record. Part B is about changing the default size of the array to 1, and then every time that it gets full, we're going to double we're going to double the size of the array. And then the last part is about modifying the command F, and so basically we adding some padding between the name, this name over here, and the phone number. And we have a hint here that we want to follow in order to do this. Okay, so let's start with part 8. Okay, we have again part 8. We have to introduce this delete command. Okay, so this is the this program was given by the author and it's in the book. Uh, I downloaded it, and as you see, it's here. It is about 149 lines of code. Basically, it's telling us, well, part A, we have to enter this command. So I'm trying to see where I'm going to enter the new command. Let's start here. Let's start introducing it here on the options. So we introduce here. It's gonna be D. So ND is gonna stand for um, delete phone number. Okay, and then we're going. So basically, the program is going to look some. It's gonna be similar to this part, to the part where we have to find or look up a phone number. So we're gonna copy this code over here, mm, around here. Okay, so we're gonna create an else if. Oh, else if parentheses. I'm gonna put our code in here. Um, we have an error here. Um, okay, we have to we'll fix the error later. So we have to we're gonna copy all this, copy and paste here. Okay, and then we're going to introduce something similar like it looks in here. I'm gonna copy right there. Instead of Q, we're gonna change it to D. Then we're gonna change this to enter name to delete or to be deleted. And then um, we have to make some changes in here. So we're going to delete this number. So in order to delete it, we have to change this if. So we're gonna delete all this if, and we're going to type if key, well, if name first. We're going to compare to the key, but we have to ignore case. Compare, ignore case, and when you compare it with key, going on here? Tin, 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 tin. Okay, if we compare and they're equal, we have to go to records, where we found it, and then we're going to point it. We're going to point the object. The correct way to do it is to point it to the last object of the array. So we're going to do that. So we're going to point it to the last object of the array. So we're going to have to type here records length -1, and that's going to be that's, and then we're going to point it to the last item of the array, and then we have to decrease the numbers. We have to decrease this variable over here. The number of records. So because if we go here and we see on the case for adding a record, we see that we actually here every time that we add a record, we also add in a +1 on this variable. So if we delete a record, we have to do the same, reverse the reverse process. So it's going to be records. Oh no, it's going to be num records -1. Okay, still here are some errors. Why is that? Oh, it has to be command. Yeah. No, it has to be name. And compare ignore case to key. What's going on here? Okay. Cannot convert into bool. Saying I cannot convert into the bool. Why is that? Type this match cannot convert from int to boolean. Why is that? I don't get it. To lowercase. We go to the records, and then it's gonna be name compared to key over here. We're not getting anything. Why is that? So name compared to that's weird. What if we change it? Key to name. Hmm. Hmm. Why is this? Why is not? I don't see why it's not working. Should work over here. If name equals has to be equals ignore case 2 key, and then if that's if that's true, we're gonna use records where we found it, and then we're gonna point it to the last record in the array. So it's gonna be records, the length -1, and then what we're going to do is we're going to decrease the number of records. Number of records -1, but a short way to do it. Why is it giving an error here? A short way to do it is, let's point this to the number of records, and then I'm gonna use this notation, and then we're gonna fix this new error over here. I don't know, syntax errors invert. Why is this error here? Bam, 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 bam. Oh, okay, I see it. It's here. It's not closing this new if, so we'll close it in here. Okay. So let's test it. We have to enter. Okay. Enter a command. So we forgot to add D over here. So let's just go to the line of code, and it's here. So D. And then let's save it, and let's restart the program again. And then we're gonna add, let's say add the name, Ali. Phone number, we're gonna use a short one, 123. Bob, 234. No, I mean, oh, command wasn't recognized. Okay, it's part of the program. We're gonna add another, and then, oh, it's saying database is full. Oh, let's change. I forgot to change this back, so let's change this to 100 again. Okay, let's do it again. So it's gonna be a number. I mean, name Ali. Phone number 123. Add again. Let's add Bob. Phone number 234. And then let's add another one. Let's add Charles and another phone number 678. And then let's see if they are in the database. So we're gonna use F to look up. Let's see Ali, and we see that Ali is present, and that's the phone number of Ali 123. Okay, and that's for part 8. And then we're gonna use Q to exit to close the program. Okay. Now on part B, we have to change the length of the array of 100 to 1, and then double the size every time that it gets full. So let's do that. So we're going to go to the beginning of the program where the array is declared. We're gonna change this 100 to 1, and then we have to add some code. But in order to see the change that we're doing, I'm going to start printing the contents of the array. And I'm going to do it, I don't know, right here. Let's say systems when you use this, right, we type arrays to to string, and we put the name of our array, which is gonna be records. We save that, and then this is the part where we have to change. So we're seeing here that when the number of records is less less than the length of the array, we're, we we go here, and this block gets executed. Okay, here's the message if the array is full. Um, hmm. So let's write another if statement if the number of records is the same as the length of the array. So uh, we're going to have to put it outside like another if. I'm gonna do it right here after the else. Let's see if the number of records is the same as the length of the array. So it's gonna be records the length, and let's go. Okay, and then once we do this, we're going to change. So in order to do this, what we have to do is we're going to create another array with the type phone records, right? Like like we did it in here. So we just gonna copy and paste this code over here, and we paste it here. Then we're gonna change these records to records 2 and change this one to twice the length of records 1, or just records in this case. And then once we do this, we're gonna transfer the contents of records to records 2. It's gonna be records the length plus plus, and we're transferring everything to records 2. Okay, and then once we do this, uh, we're going we're going to do is we're gonna make the original uh, we're gonna point our original array to the bigger array, which you're gonna just we just do that doing this, and then we should be able to see how it works now. Let's see. Display play. We add a new user. So as we see over here, we just have one one object in the array, which is null, and then we're gonna enter a name, Ali, a phone number 123, and then we're going to enter another user, let's say Bob, and then I just and then remember that I was printing the contents of the array at the beginning, so here is the new array added, the new object added to the array. So this is a new object. And now we're gonna add another one, which is Bob, and the phone number is gonna be just let's say it's gonna be 2, 3, 4, and then as expected, the array should grow to 4, right? So let's add another user, and we see that that's happening. So we started with 1, and then the array increased to 2, and then we entered 2 records, and the size of the array increased to 4. So let's add one more record, um, and that's gonna be it for par B. And then we're going to do par C. Par C basically is telling us to add some padding between the record and the number. And so we have a hint here, and it's telling me to create an array that's gonna have 25 characters, and then use the substring method to display that portion of the array. Okay, we can do it that way, but I know an easier way to do it. So we're going to do it the easier way. For the method, we have to go to the F portion of the code, which is gonna be here. And okay, so we go to here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to uh, add empty spaces to the end of this string. So how are we going to do that? Just introducing a simple um, for loop. How can I use A? I'm gonna use K for this case. And we have to make sure that we're starting from the length of the name, and then we're going to stop when it's equal to 25, and then when we're doing that, we're going to add empty spaces. So it's going to be name. It's going to be equal to name plus empty space. And so we do the over here, and then we're going to print the contents. So I'm gonna change these records. I get name, and we're gonna type the name of the array name. We get rid of this empty space, and we should be able to get something like this. So let's save it and let's test it. So we're going to add let's say a name a number 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna add another record. It's gonna be a bunch of A's, and then another number 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna use the F command to find the records that starts with letter A. And then we see that they're perfectly aligned, like in the example right here. All right, this is how we solve this problem. This is how we solve problem 5 of chapter 5.